Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got a Mach 2 kit. Just about got over the last time I did a Mach 2 kit, which would have been the VC10 a year and so ago. Just about through therapy from that one. So we thought it'd be time to have a look at another one. So what we got down in here is Mach 2s. This is the HS748 in 1/72nd scale. So yeah, for people who don't know, it's basically the military version of the was it the Andover, I think it was, right the way through. So again, we haven't done one of these kits for a while. So because I haven't done one for a while, we have to think of safety first. So clearly, because we'll be handling a Mach 2 kit, we're going to need some gloves. So we'll put some gloves on for obviously dealing with Mach 2. And obviously, unfortunately, I haven't got my flak vest available, but I have got my safety glasses. So we're all pulled up, ready to go to actually have a look to see what we get inside the box. So hopefully that is not going to stand up like that. Hopefully it will, sort of. Yeah, the boxes aren't the best, shall we say. So hopefully it'll sit there. So as we can see, we are greeted by, well, one bag has everything in it. One bag of goodness. So, get this to stand up right. We have is this stapled? Usually stapled, which we are somewhat stapled together. If I could even get into it, which way is this stapled? Yes, we've got a few staples just down in here. So we'll do also. I think you're thinking, Phil, you're a bit overkill with the gloves. I've built one of these kits. I know what they're like. So that's it. So as always, we will start with the instructions. That's it. Did you enjoy it? So that gives you an idea of how that goes together. All right, and this is what we're left with. Yes, now you can see why I'm wearing gloves. You do need gloves for handling these. It's like handling old rose bushes. So yes, so we have got a very nice fuselage set, a little bit of flash. All right, there's lots of flash. All right, so all jokes aside, what we've got down in here is it's somewhere between plastic and resin. I've never quite worked out what it is yet, but it's basically low pressure injection molding. So the molds themselves aren't like, you know, as you imagine, these huge billets of steel that they use for doing them normally. You know, I've had various people tell me, but I'm not 100% on it, so I won't share that information about how it's done. But as you can see, it's a little bit flashy. It's a little bit gnarly. So if we look close in, you can see a little bit of texture maybe on the parts sometimes. Sometimes the panel lining's a little bit iffy. It's a little bit heavy. Sometimes it sort of stops. Sometimes it looks like I've done it. Like here, looks like I've done it right the way through. We've got the engines. Again, needs a little bit of cleanup. Let's be honest, a little bit of cleanup down there. Some of the smaller parts as well. They like this. I do believe these are the flight yokes. Might need a little bit of cleanup. A little bit of cleanup there. Oh, and some more cleanup there. All right. Tail looks nice. It's got some very nice details. I go right the way through. Very nice. And on the inside, again, a few little ejector pins here and there. Things like that. There's no locating tabs or pins, which is a good thing, because otherwise it probably won't line up. All right, so there's not a lot of CAD involved, I don't think, in the design of these things. I think it's all hand sculpted, hand tooled, as much with all the Mach 2 kits. So we've also got the wings. There, as you can see on here. On the close-up, you can see. Sometimes you do get the odd blemish and things, and splinter texture in some of these, like the wing section down in here. Might just need a little bit of cleanup, perhaps on the wheels as well, for those ones, and the doors. and the gear. Okay, so yeah, you've got to do a lot of cleanup on this particular kit. All right, so moving up with some of the cockpit details. Not a lot of cockpit detail in there, to be honest. I think there's a little bit of sync mark in there as well. Underside of the wings, right the way through, you can see recessed details in amongst all the recessed surface on there. And then obviously on the inside you will have to remove some of these small ejector pins that are festooned right the way over. Just be careful as you take them out, because you might go through. All right, so that's those there. But obviously the clear parts are not very round or window shaped. Yeah, you might need a little bit of work to just clean some of these small windows up to make them the right shape. Apart from that, and the odd little bit of flash on the clear parts, and clear, I'd say clear parts quite loosely, they're more akin to sort of frosted windows really. So clear part is not you know, high up on there. On the upside though, we do have some very nice decals that are printed on solid sheets. I think you will have to cut them out yourselves and take care of all of those as well. So, okay, so all jokes aside, what we've got down in here is a 72nd scale HS 748 or the Andover. Again, this is one of these aircraft which has been overlooked by mainstream manufacturers. This was the replacement, I think, for sort of the DC-3 for the Dakota. Again, it's a turboprop, it's an early turboprop and all the rest of it, and it was actually very, very successful. And I've got up here where it's still operational in Canada. They're still flying these things. So actually it's one of those ones, an aircraft that's time forgot. And this is where Mach 2 come into their own. They bring us kits that you will never see. Like when I did the VC-10, it's massive. It's possibly one of the biggest model kits I've ever built in my life. Yes, it's got problems. Yes, there's some issues and we had to do some chopping and cutting and put some shims in and make it all work and all the rest of it. But ultimately, it actually ended up being one of my favorite builds purely because it's a test. It will test you with every single step of the way. Yes, it's horrible to look at on the sprue. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When you first see these kits and for the price you pay, you're like, really? I've just paid X amount, because they're not cheap for these kits. But you have to understand as well, Mach 2, as far as I'm aware, is a one-man band business. He does all the design, he does all the tooling, he does everything himself, right the way through to the packaging and all the rest of it. So this isn't some big company with, you know, 50, 60 staff who all contribute to being together a model kit at the end of the day. This is where also Mach 2 comes in, because they do some really, really nice aircraft that the modern manufacturers and the mainstream manufacturers just don't go near. And I've never understood it as well. So this is going to be your only chance to do an HS 748. You know, purely because none of the other manufacturers are going to go near it. Mach 2's done it the same way as they did for me. What I wanted was a VC-10 tanker, did it in flight on a stand and all the rest of it. Nobody else has ever come close to it. So from that point of view, I think it's one of those areas where you have to take a step back, forget what you're seeing, all right, and go a little bit deeper. What you've got here is an Andover at the end of the day. Nobody else is going to do it. So yes, it's a little bit rough. It's a little bit ropey. But by the time you get all the parts off the sprues, give them all a good clean up, sand everything down, polish up the parts, rescribe, re-rivet, detail up all the parts, what you're going to end up with is something really, really nice that possibly none of your mates are going to have either, because not many people take the time to see through the initial shock of the parts and the price. Once you've done that, actually it comes together really nicely. And let's face it, it's not a complicated build either. The instructions are a little bit, yeah. Again, it's one of those, it could do with a few more bits of instructions, I'm not going to lie for you. But at the end of the day, because the part count is so low, it's pretty straightforward. And if you've ever got a model plane before, you're going to know about how this is going to go together. Obviously, do your research. Get your references up on the screen of the real thing and have a look at it. Or if there is something online, you can follow along with someone building with it as well. You'll be pretty much out the gate with it. But again, things like I was joking about, the clear parts. all right, you're going to have to use the cockpit glass because, yeah, unless you're going to plunge mold your own one, which could be an option, but they are horrible. They're even horrible to touch. And I'm not joking. It's almost you need gloves for these. This has got texture on it you wouldn't believe. But as for the windows, ditch that. There's other options to the window. Clear UV set resins work really, really well for this. And again, you could do it just the way I'd probably do it. It's PVA glue them and you'd be away. Because to be honest with you, they're not going to be any worse than what's in here, and they'll be a nicer fit at the end of the day. So from that point of view, you have got options out there. But again, it's one of those kits where you need to look past what you see. So looking is almost the wrong expression for this one. You almost need the passion to see past this. This is a model kit that you're going to have to put a lot of hours into just cleaning up and making good. Then you can get it together. Then I would highly recommend just hitting it with a filler. Don't even try and dry fit, because it's not going to work. All right, just get the filler out, get the filler into this one, give it plenty of drying times, and then just sand and smooth. Being an airliner, it doesn't have many lumps and bumps, so you can take your time with those ones. Speaking of lumps and bumps, I've bin these and scratch build your own antennas and aerials and things like that. You have a far nicer fit with those ones as well. But generally, it's one of those ones where a lot of people I know are like, oh, God, that's horrible. Why would you even manufacture that? Why do they bother? They bother because this is something that is not commercially available through anywhere else. So if you want an Andover like this, then this is definitely the shop for you to have a go at one. And again, there's not many parts to this one, so it wouldn't take a heap of work to get this thing together. Anyway, there we have the legendary Mach 2, which will be legendary now. 1/72 scale. This is the HS 748, also known as the Andover.